My son's got he's sniffling constantly. And it's honestly, it's driving me and my wife up the freaking wall, but her way more than me. And she's like, all right, Gabe, I'm gonna give you some allergy medicine. I don't have allergies, I'm not allergic to it. Stop. She's like, I'm gonna give you allergy medicine that will hopefully help with your nose. And he's like, okay. And he's like, what kind of medicine is it? And before she can answer, and she walks into the kitchen, out of my line of sight. And before she can answer, I go, it's a shot. And he's like, a shot? And I'm like, yeah, it's actually 6 shots. You're gonna get 3 at each arm. And then my wife goes, ow! And I was like, honey, that was a joke. Dead silence. Honey? And I jump up and I walk into the other room. And I didn't hear like a thud or anything, and she's sitting there like Peter Griffin, like, And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I nailed my elbow on the cabinet when I was opening it to get the medicine. And I laughed, and I was like, all right, are you good? She's like, yeah. So I laughed, yeah, I did. And she proceeds to get on the medicine. It was not a shot. And a little bit of time passes, and she comes into my office, and she's talking to me in here. Now in here, I've got like the fancy lighting and stuff like that for the stream. And she was like, all right, well, I guess have a good night. I'm gonna head upstairs. I'm like, are you sure you're not gonna fight the stairs? You're not gonna do a flying elbow drop on the stairs and try to teach them who's boss? And she's like, haha, no. And then she stretches, like literally. 0.5 seconds later, she stretches, nails the same elbow on that light. She's like, haha, no, not gonna do that, smarty pants. Thwack! Ah! Ah! Ooh! And I'm like, are you for real? And she's like, like, I'm like, are you messing with me right now? She's like, no. Like, it was the same one. And this is the same lady that a few years ago, she broke the other elbow in an unrelated incident. So I'm just like, I'm looking at her and I was like, honey, I feel like I need to get you like freaking water wings and a construction hat to keep you safe for that. And then I was like, wait, that wouldn't even help your elbow, would it? Like, all right. You need help up the stairs? Oh, all right, she's fine. My son had a friend come over. Another kid, 9 years old, and they were playing. And then they live in the neighborhood. I was like, you know, I know you're, it's time for you to head home. Would you be, because I didn't want to creep the kid out. I was like, would you be okay if I walked you home, like me and Gabe walked you home, and then Gabe could see where you live, and maybe they could play at your house someday. And he's like, sure. So we walk him home, and I meet the kid's mom, and we talk for a few minutes. And she's like, she this is me trying to imitate her. She had a very thick, I believe Vietnamese accent. And she's like, oh, I found your channel. And I was like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed. I'm wearing this and I'm like, and she's like, no, I like it. We really like to watch it. I'm like, oh God, I'm entertaining the neighborhood children. Oh boy. I did not know I was doing that. Please don't let your kids watch the old stuff. It's no good. It's like if you watch a really old Looney Tunes cartoon, it's like, we are embarrassed by these old cartoons, but they were products of their time. Like, you know, please don't look at the old stuff. Don't let your kids watch that. Victoria, your use of words reminds me of one time when I was at a restaurant with my wife and my son, who was like probably 5 or 6 at the time. And you know, we'd been working on teaching him like please and thank you and using manners and stuff. And he was big on when he ordered food, he would order it like this. He'd be like, can I get ketchup with fries and a side of chicken fingers? Like ketchup was the main course, all right? And he orders his food like that, and I correct him, and the waitress chuckles, and she writes it down. And later she comes back, and the waitress brings us our food, and she's got her hands full. You know, she's got the big tray on her shoulder. She puts all the plates down. She's got her hands full. She's probably gonna make a second trip. So she puts down the plates, and the second she puts my son's plate down in front of him that has chicken fingers and fries on it, and she's still got her hands full, she's like, he gets like, hey, where's my ketchup? And I'm mortified. I'm one of those parents that's just absolutely mortified by this thing that my son just did. So he does that, and I'm mortified. I'm like, Gabe, that is not what you say. I'm like, Gabe, what do you say? And I'm wanting him to say, like, please bring me ketchup. And, you know, my 5-year-old son, he proceeds to go, he stands up in his seat, and he's like, may you bring me ketchup? And he does this. He's like, may you give me ketchup? And I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I was just like, I wanted to shrivel up and die. Like, my chest was constricting. I was just so mortified that happened. You gotta wonder where he learned it. Not me. His mother and I were both just like, oh my God, kill us. It's just like, where's my ketchup? Use your manners. May you give me ketchup? It's like, oh my no. What was the reaction? I like shriveled up, and the waitress was just like, and I was like, I am so sorry, ma'am. Like, I was just super apologetic. Like, I am very nice to people in the service industry, and that is not how I wanted my kid to treat him. For any WoW players, back when I played WoW in when they rebooted Naxxramas, The Wrath of the Lich King, there was this boss named Hegan the Unclean, and his room was divided into 4 quadrants, and basically it would be like lava would erupt from one at a time, and you had to move between them while you were fighting them. And there was an achievement called the Safety Dance, and it was to fight Hegan, and no one ever gets hit. I can't do it anymore because DMCA is dumb, but yeah, so you fight Hegan while doing the safety dance. And the thing is he was such a simple boss that other than that, he was super easy. Like, there was a guy who soloed him, but it took like 3 hours because, you know, he has, you know, the Hegan's health is meant to be killed by 25 people, not one guy. But yeah, it was crazy. And I remember when we were trying to get the mounts, which required a whole bunch of 25-minute achievements, and one was safety dance. And we had some people in our raid chat that were, let's just say they were bad dancers. And we, even though this was a 25-man boss, we told everyone, we're like, all right, if you don't feel confident, wait outside, please. Just this one time. And you'll still get credit if we're successful. Like 15 of the 25 people in the raid stood outside. We're like, okay. So the rest of us, the elites, the muck chosen, went in there and 10-manned this 25 boss. And it took like 20-something minutes. And we did it. We did it. And I remember at the end, we were so stressed out because, you know, you don't want to fail 19 minutes in. We were so stressed out. And at the end, there was this one gal, and she was literally one of the people who got hit every week, making us fail it. She was outside, and we killed him. And she goes, "We did it!" And she said we, and like 3 of us snapped at her. We're like, "What do you mean we?" Like, we were just balls of stress at that point. And we're like, what do you mean we? Just like snap at her. She's like, ah! I remember the same lady. We were doing Sartharian. Sartharian had a move where a tidal wave of lava would come across the field, but there would be an opening in it. And so you'd have to move to where the opening was to not get swept away or burned away by the lava. And there was an achievement to fight him without ever taking any damage from the lava. And it's like a 8 to 10 minute fight. And so you never get hit by the lava. And she died because she walked in front of the cleave. She stood where the tank was, which was me at the time. And she got wrecked by the cleave. And she died. And then she reincarnated, because she was a shaman. We had a joke that she was spec'd for improved dying. She had reduced cooldown on Onk. And she went in, she like ran into the cleave, onked, and ran into the dragon's breath and died twice. And she's like, oh, sorry. And she's like, should we wipe? And I'm like, no, we shouldn't wipe because you made 2 mistakes. We're gonna keep going. Like, she was an awesome person, but she made dirt moves a lot. And we kill the dragon. She freaking gets the achievement for having never gotten hit by a lava wave because she died to other crap 2 seconds into the fight. All of us were like, what the? Like, we were so pissed off about that. And she, like, of course, the next week we get in there. What do you think all the DPS started doing? Oops, I got hit by a cleave. No, don't res me. Save it in case the tank needs it. All of them, like 15 idiots, are all accidentally dying to cleave. And her name was Zwain, so they were trying to get the Zwain special, the easy road to the achievement. And we were like, and you know, I'm the tank, so I can't do that. I'm like, you sons of, you know, I'm like swearing at them. I was not PG at the time. But yeah, they were all just like standing at everything. Like, oops, I died. Better save that rank in case. Oh my God. So like, I ended up, because I was the tank and there was no, you know, the healers could even, I'm pretty sure the healers had their own chat and they would be like, all right, you accidentally died this week. I'll do it next week. I didn't have anyone like that. I simply had to, you know, play perfectly. So I was one of the last people in the freaking guild to get that achievement for them out.